Welcome to the virtual CAP fundraising dinner. Happy birthday, Christians Against Poverty Australia!
Happy birthday, CAP. Hey, don't party too hard, you old thing.
Hi everyone, my name's Paul Derham and I'm the Chair of Christians Against Poverty Australia, and I'd like to welcome you today and thank you for showing up. Rain, hail, shine, a global pandemic, nothing is going to stop you from showing up. Thank you. I'm grateful you're here. We're grateful you're here. I look around as if my friends and colleagues are with me, and they kind of are because we're all sitting at home right now. That's kind of the way it is, but we're all together, and I'm so glad that you're here with us. This is a moment of historical significance. The vulnerable are getting more vulnerable. Unemployment is rising. Financial stress is increasing. So thank you for playing your part. Thanks for turning up. I hope you have a really great night.
Whoa, 20 years? Well done. Happy birthday, CAP.
Good evening, friends and family of CAP. My name is Matt Hunt, and I get the amazing privilege of what it is to serve on the board of this incredible organisation. I also get to do three other things. I also get to partner with them financially. I get to partner in prayer. But I also get to just cheer on the amazing work that Rosie and all the gang get to do. Well, you know what? Tonight's a fundraising dinner, and this may be your first fundraising dinner. It may be your 20th fundraising dinner. Let me encourage you to lean in, to listen to the stories, and let your heart be spoken to. I don't say this lightly, but we can make a significant difference in the lives of this nation because of what we're about to do tonight. So let's partner together, let's do what we can, and let's have a great night together. Be blessed.
Happy birthday, Cap.
Welcome everyone. My name is Kathy Dixon, and it's my privilege to be a part of the board at Christians Against Poverty. And how great is tonight? What could have been an obstacle, the great team at Christians Against Poverty have turned it around into a huge celebration across Australia. And so I know we're going to have a great time together tonight. And hey, let's get ready, let's lean in and play our part to see Australians lifted out of poverty. Enjoy.
Ooh, happy birthday. Ooh, happy birthday.
Wow, CAP has been around 20 years in this country, serving the church, reaching out to the poor and needy in our communities. And it's a wonderful privilege to be able to serve along with you guys. Thank you for those faithful people that have been with us over many, many years. And for those that might be new, we want to welcome you to the CAP family as well. Thank you for being part of tonight. We trust you'll really enjoy it. It's great to be able to reach out in this way after such a difficult year. With all that's happened with COVID, all the struggles and challenges we've had, we have the opportunity to bring hope, to be salt and light to our community. So hey, I want you to dig deep, give generously, every dollar counts. And I trust you have a wonderful night, and we're going to give God all the glory. Have a great time. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Sally Evans. I am the Senior Leader of People and Culture here at CAP. I just want to thank you all for your support of CAP over the years. Some of you have been supporting CAP over our full 20 years here in Australia, and so a massive thank you to you. I hope you all enjoy the dinner tonight. It's our first virtual fundraising dinner, and so I hope you all have a lot of fun at home wherever you are right across Australia.
Happy birthday, CAP Australia! Woo! My name is Johnny Boy. I'm the founder of Christians Against Poverty. And 20 years ago, I came to Australia and we started this incredible work. I can't quite believe all God has done. Thousands upon thousands helped hundreds of churches reaching their communities and His kingdom advancing. What a 20 years. I feel tired just thinking about it. Please continue to do what made CAP Australia what it is today. Please pray, be generous this evening, believe for the impossible, and get involved in any way you can. Nations only ever get changed when ordinary people just like me and you say, why not us? Why not now? Our journey to change your nation has only just begun. Enjoy this evening. Well done, everybody involved in Christians Against Poverty Australia. Happy, happy, happy birthday. And I have now made a very big mess in my kitchen.
think that people misunderstand how people find themselves in poverty in the first place.
And as we started to slip down that slippery slope of debt, it became harder and harder to get out of that and get back on top.
That's when you really start to let go and think, oh, I've just done the absolute best I can and I can't do any more.
God's given me a vision for where the church can be and where I believe it should be.
You can't see that they're in poverty.
CAP enables the church to have practical solutions to real problems.
When you're on that phone call, it's just you and them and God.
They prayed with me, made me feel like there was hope.
CAP is incredibly helpful for a church leader that's trying to solve long-term problems and not just the short-term.
Yeah, I don't think I could sit here 2.5 years ago saying that I'd help 20 families get out of debt.
Josh, you're all debt-free. You and Corrine, you've done it, you've paid it all off.
I owe my life to CAP.
There is hope, and maybe I can keep going. Maybe I can face this problem and come out the other side and life can start to look different.
Together.
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 Together, we are Christians Against Poverty.
Hello and welcome to CAP's very first online fundraising dinner. Tonight we are gathered all across Australia to celebrate CAP's 20th birthday. CAP Australia was launched in the year 2000, 20 years ago. Happy birthday, CAP Australia. 2020 hasn't been the year that most of us planned. However, we are determined that tonight, COVID-19 isn't going to stop us celebrating all that God has done through CAP. Tonight is your opportunity to ensure that 2020 is not a setback year for Christians Against Poverty. There has never been a more critical time for each of us to ask ourselves what we can do to partner with CAP to make a difference to families and individuals trapped in financial distress. In a year where we've all been forced to look closer to home, I am hoping that tonight is an opportunity to both celebrate the past 20 years, but probably more importantly, look forward to the future with your partnership. CAP has big plans. We believe that over the next 3 years, the church has an amazing opportunity to provide practical help and hope to thousands of Australians that are going to be experiencing financial stress. And everyone's invited, just like tonight, CAP's birthday party. You are invited to play your part in making the CAP vision a reality. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, live from Newcastle, New South Wales, the home of CAP head office. Whether you're dressed up and surrounded by friends, or whether you're at home in your PJs, tonight everyone is invited and all are welcome. Thank you to those of you that have supported CAP through the last 20 years. The stories you hear tonight are your stories. You have played a significant role in bringing hope and transformation to people's lives all across Australia. So, a few logistical things before we get going into the evening. We are live tonight, so I apologise in advance if things aren't as polished as they could be. So please be patient with us. And the best news of all tonight, you can give at any time. If you've been to a CAP fundraising dinner before, then you'll know that we usually leave the giving and pledging until the last moment. But today, you can give at any time. We have a phone line that is available. The phone number is on your screen now. We have a team of staff that would love to talk to you. You can also give on the CAP website via the donate page on your screen. And thanks to some very, very generous CAP supporters, we have a match fund tonight of $70,000. So if you give or pledge before the end of this evening, your gift will be doubled. Give a gift of $500 and CAP will receive $1,000. Every dollar is going to make a difference. And I'm going to be updating you on how much we're raising as we go through the evening. In a little while, I'm going to share with you a video that we filmed back in January before COVID-19, in a time where there was no social distancing, no hand sanitizer, or gathering restrictions. CAP hosted a very special dinner for some very special guests, a group of people that believed in CAP in those very early years. So sit back and relax. Actually, scrap that. Don't relax. Get on the edge of your seat. Get ready for some amazing transformational stories. And most importantly, get your phones out, get your money ready, and let's have a great night.
When I started at CAP, we were in this tiny little house in Glendale, and there were more people than there were desks. So some of us had to share desks. I was one of those people. So every day I'd come in and I'd have to find out which room to go into. There were only about almost 10 debt centers, I believe, at the time, and we now have 40, which is pretty amazing. And I think we had fewer than 500 life changers back then, and we now have 3,000. So the growth has been pretty incredible. Yeah, it's great.
Year 2000, that was an incredible time in the history of the church, and obviously in history in CAP, in hindsight, looking back. John Kirkby flew in from the UK with incredible vision that CAP would start in Australia.
Me and Helen have been giving to CAP for 20 years. I've gone through the similar circumstances to what CAP clients have gone through, so I can actually see it from their perspective, because we were unemployed. I was unemployed for quite a period. If we had CAP with us at that time, it would have been so much easier.
The reason I joined CAP was because it's pioneering, and there was an excitement in that. But I remember back at just after the global financial crisis, I know a number of people here were there. We were running out of money as a charity, and we had to make some big changes. And at that time, we had to raise $500,000 just to stay afloat. Through the generosity of staff, through the generosity of our donors, we raised $500,000 in about 2 weeks. We changed the way we operate, we cut our costs, and we're here today now, I believe, because we saw miracles in the midst of difficult times, and that's just one I remember, and to be honest, I'll never forget to the day I die, I'm sure.
I got involved in CAP because I'd always had a heart for people, to see them find a better life, to give people hope.
The most memorable client I had was one of my very early ones. So she came into our office, beautifully dressed lady, she was 76 years old, and she had gotten into debt helping her children out, and she was in quite a lot of debt actually. We would pray with her And I think that's the first time that anybody had bothered praying for her. And she really treasured that. And over the period of 6 years that it took her to pay her debt off, she became a very close friend of both her support worker Bev and I.
The one that I can remember the most was one her name was Catherine, and she had borrowed money from the bank to help one of her children. But her situation was that she was not well.
I remember coming away feeling so angry that the bank would lend this lady some money when she had no chance of paying it back. I'm going, how irresponsible. She couldn't go out of the house. You know, she was just, I don't know, frozen, I suppose, maybe so embarrassed about her situation.
Cap rescued her out of that situation, which was, you know, like from the anger that I had from how could they lend someone money that just can't pay it back, to getting them out of that situation was so good. Yeah, it was a real blessing to me as well as obviously to her.
I guess, you know, I have lots of wonderful memories, but the thought of being able to go out into the community, be able to show them the love of God and be able to pray with them, be able to lead them to the Lord, be able to see them come along to church and see their lives radically changed.
And so she came to faith, Melba did. So today she is 92 years old, and we're in contact often and often pop in to see her, and she's still going strong.
On the foundations that you have built, we are seeing Christians Against Poverty grow. More people are being reached every year, and I'm excited to see that increase. I'm excited to see more and more people join. We're going to see CAP grow. We're going to see the church become known as a place that both serves and includes the poor and enables people to come into a relationship with Jesus. And I'm so excited about other people joining into the invitation where everyone is invited. CAP was founded in 1996 in the UK, and it didn't feel right to celebrate CAP's 20th birthday without hearing from the man God entrusted with the original vision. Many of you will know John Kirkby personally, and that's because not only did he found CAP UK, but he also founded and directed CAP International for many years. John has worked tirelessly to see CAP Australia established, and I'm honoured to hand over to him now for a special message from him to you.
Well, I was like everyone else who's ever got involved in CAP over the last 20 years. I was inspired to get involved, believe it or not. Some people were in the UK, they saw what we were doing, and we were very small, still working in my home. And they inspired me to come to Australia on a holiday. Good idea. I have to go back to the very first moment when I arrived in Australia. In Isaiah 55, verse 4, it said this. It says, "See how I have made him a witness to the peoples, a leader and commander of the peoples. Surely you will summon nations you know not, and nations that you do not know will hasten to you." That was given to me in April 2000. I put here, first word ever given as I visited Australia, speaks of nations and a hope in God. We literally started in a small church office here in Newcastle. Literally me and one other person who decided that we would download at the time spreadsheets from the UK and simply go out onto the streets here in Newcastle and actually see if Christians Against Poverty would actually work. I remember meeting my first client in the church about a year later, who not only found freedom from debt, but had also found Jesus Christ their personal saviour. And although there was absolutely nothing, everything in my spirit said, God is in this thing works, Australia needs it. And listen, 20 years later, it's just the same. This thing works, the church need it, and God's with us. I want to be really honest, the first 7 years of CAP in Australia were extremely difficult. We struggled. I think I lacked confidence that God had given us a certain way of doing Christians Against Poverty, and that it was his way that he had given us. And the leader at the time, who was a great guy, honestly said to me, "Okay, John, I think it's over. it's just not working. And I could take it back to the lamppost where I stood and said to him, this is not over. This is only just begun. And the lessons that we learned in those 7 years have gone on to help CAP in 4 other countries. Can I be absolutely honest with you? My vision has not changed since 2000. My vision and my hope is that Christians Against Poverty are here for such a time as this. Whatever your involvement in Christians Against Poverty Australia, I'm saying to you, everyone is invited. Do not think this job is finished. Do not think you're too late to the party. Listen, in decades from now, I believe that I'm going to see with my own eyes this nation changed by a bunch of ordinary people who heard the invite. The invite is not from us. The invite is from God. Get involved in something He is doing. And trust me, in years to come, this nation will be changed by ordinary people who get behind an extraordinary vision given by God. So get involved. Do not miss this invite.
Okay, so I've now got the phone team behind me. Now is the time to start phoning. The website is ready to take your donations. The phone line is open. We are live tonight. We would love for you to interact with us on social media. We have an event page for this event. Please share your photos. Later, we will be sharing your photos as part of this event. So if you want to be famous, share your events and we will see you later on as we go through. And as you call, don't forget about the match fund today. You can double your impact. It's time now to share our first client story. I'm going to hand over to the CAP Senior Leader of Network Partnerships. CAP has been working at head office since 2019. Over to Sam.
Hello, my name is Sam and I am the Senior Leader of Network Partnerships here at CAP. We're about to watch a client story from 2012. These stories always remind me of how much a person's whole life has changed by coming into contact with CAP. It's not just about numbers or finances, it's a whole life transformation of a person, a family, and ultimately their community. Nicole's story shows that transformation from a place of despair to a place of love, hope, and support.
So my partner left me when I was pregnant with my 4th child, and there'd been quite a bit of domestic violence, and he had a drug problem and a gambling problem, and so he was intimidating me to give him money constantly. There'd been occasions where I'd had to call the police, and I was quite frightened of him, and he started threatening the physical safety of my children, and because I was frightened of him and I just wanted to make him go away, I would just give him the money. And finally he intimidated me into giving him the password to my credit card. When I ran out of money, he left because I was no longer of any use to him, despite the fact that we had 2 children together. And I was also living in my dad's 1-bedroom unit with 3 children, and I was pregnant with my 4th, and my dad, because he wasn't getting any rental from the property, was putting a lot of pressure on me to move out. So I had the prospect of being homeless with 4 children. I felt like that they were going to look at me and go, oh my God, our mother's so useless. And the opinion of my children was so important to me because, I wanted to be a good role model for them. It was just a very depressing, upsetting, horrible time. Saw an advertisement that a lady was going to be talking about budgeting. She gave me the telephone number for CAP up at Newcastle, and I just went straight home and rang them straight away. Suddenly I had a partner that was helping me manage the debt. My original debt was forecasted at 7 years. I worked within the budget. I strictly followed the budget that they gave me, but I've actually managed to become debt-free in 16 months, which is just awesome. And for 3 weeks after my CAP advisor rang me and said, you are now officially debt-free, you could not wipe the smile off my face for the longest time. I was just absolutely euphoric. When my debt counsellor, Nicole, came back to give me my budget, she said to me, well, how about you come to church with me this Sunday? And when the pastor made the altar call, I just knew he was speaking directly to me. So I had no hesitation. I just went straight down the front and said the prayer of salvation. And I actually silently said to myself in my head, this is what you have been looking for your entire life. Your entire search for meaning in your life is right here, right now. And it's just been the best thing that I ever did. And I have solidly and committedly gone to church every weekend. To be able to walk with God and not do this on my own, especially as a single parent, has just made life just so much easier. I've just felt a sense of peace that I've never had in my life, and I can just move forward in love. Like, I just feel so loved and supported now.
Nicole sent Cap a letter recently that I'd like to share with you. Dear Cap, it is now 9 years since Cap assisted me to become debt-free. I am still a Cap life changer after almost a decade too. The great news is that I am still 100% debt-free. The follow-up Cap Money course taught me a lot about budgeting and staying ahead for life. I am working part-time in customer service, which I thoroughly enjoy. The family has grown by 2 as my eldest daughter made me a grandmother twice. We welcomed 2 little boys in the last 4 years. My second child is achieving high distinctions at university. The third son is currently school captain of Year 6. The youngest son is happy in Year 5 at primary school. The younger 2 boys and I are in long-term stable housing, which is such a reassuring feeling. The family and I have continued to go to church and grow in faith year by year. God has certainly seen us through many storms and celebrations faithfully, and it has been awesome to have that anchor and hope in our daily lives. I know you rang the bell of salvation for me the day I accepted Christ into my life in April 2010. Our future is looking so bright. This Christmas, the children and I have booked and paid for a Sydney staycation with lots of fun and opportunities to make happy memories. On behalf of my family, I send love and blessings to the CAP staff, their families, and every life changer who makes such a difference to the quality of lives of the vulnerable and brokenhearted. Happy 20th birthday, CAP Australia. Stay safe and strong. I think Nicole's story is an inspiration. She doesn't mention it in this letter, but this year with COVID-19 has been difficult for Nicole. The reality is she is still a single mum, which is a huge job on a normal day, let alone through a pandemic. It is encouraging to see how Nicole continues to look ahead with hope for the future. That is real transformation and the kind of hope only Jesus can bring. After being a client, Nicole was a debt coach for 3 years and still does CAP Money coaching here and there. From a place of despair when first coming to CAP, Nicole is now part of bringing hope and support to others. She said of CAP's future to just keep setting a longer table. What a great picture as we see the impact in Nicole and her kids' lives and the transformation that is out there for many others in the years ahead.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Nicole, for sharing your story with us. We first shared Nicole's story in 2010. 10 years later, the impact is still evident. When you give a financial gift to CAP, you can be confident that the help and hope you are giving to families just like Nicole's is going to be making a difference for a long time to come. The help CAP provides is not about quick fixes, it's about empowerment, friendship, support and community. The church is central to how CAP works. I dream of a day that the Church of Australia is known as a place of refuge and belonging, a place that people can find grace, friendship and shelter from any storm. CAP is passionate about equipping churches to become communities of people that are committed to standing alongside people and help them find the fullness of life that God intended for them. When people find themselves in financial distress, they often also find themselves isolated and alone, just like Nicole and her 4 children. CAP is able to build a bridge between families like Nicole's and the church. The church can find it difficult to find ways to build meaningful relationships with people that desperately need help. I believe, as Christians, we all want to bring good news to people that are destitute. CAP provides a practical way for you to do that. CAP tonight needs to raise $200,000. There, I've said it, it's a huge number. We need that money to ensure that those connections can continue. Tonight, you have the opportunity to make that possible. Will you join Christians Against Poverty to be an advocate for families like Nicole's? Will you stand alongside them and say, we're with you? I would love for you to give generously tonight. I'm always reminded of a small boy in the Bible who gave what he had, 5 loaves and 2 fish. A small, humble gift. It was everything he had. He gave what he could, generously, and Jesus did the miracle. To donate, please call the number on your screen. You can give or pledge a gift. Alternatively, you can give straight away on the CAP website. And thanks to some very generous CAP supporters, as I said earlier, we have a match fund tonight of $70,000. So if you give or pledge before the end of this evening, you can double your impact. So I'm sure you're as eager as I am to find out just how much we have raised so far this evening. So wherever you are, I would love for you to join me in a drum roll. Okay, so the amount that we have currently raised is just over $37,000. How cool is that? So somehow we're going to keep on moving and we're going to keep raising money. So I'm going to be handing over to another wonderful colleague of mine. Sally is the Senior Leader of People and Culture and has been working at head office since 2015. Sally is going to share another inspirational story with you.
We first met Josh and Corrine and their 2 gorgeous girls, Eloise and Lorelei, in 2017. They are a beautiful family from Brisbane who bravely told their story about the impact that CAP can have in meeting anyone at their point of need, and with the church journeying closely with them through the tough times, picking the entire family up and gently placing them back on their feet so that they can live out the life that God has called them into. Let's take a look at their story.
Corrine and myself had been married for a few years and we were both working full time. Both had good paying jobs, didn't have a real need for a budget. I thought budgets were just for people that were struggling financially. Then all of a sudden we became pregnant, which was really exciting and happy. But then we got the news that I was going to lose my job, which happened pretty suddenly. And as we started to slip down that slippery slope of debt, it became harder and harder to get out of that and get back on top. Myself and Corrine would receive phone calls from our creditors and then having to tell them, I know I owe you that money. I really want to pay you that money. I don't have that money.
I remember going grocery shopping and, card declined, and I had to try and decide what was most important in my basket. Okay, do I get the nappies or do I get milk? Or
It was a constant daily reminder that you were failing.
my mum and dad were always really good at budgeting, and I probably felt a little bit embarrassed that I hadn't learnt anything from them. There was no end in sight of paying these credit cards off before we came to see Cap.
Called Cap, explained our situation, they prayed with me, made me feel like there was hope. When we initially got the budget back from Cap, that was a massive weight that I felt was lifted off my shoulders.
It was, instead of us trying to claw our way out, it was more them giving us a plan, and that felt really peaceful.
Within a few weeks, we noticed that things started to change very quickly. Just seeing those numbers go down of what we owed was really exciting and encouraging to keep going. I phoned Cap to let them know that I had done my tax return, and he said, "Josh, if you give us $2,500, you won't have any debt left." So I said, "All right, can I send it through now?" So he said, "Look, what we'll do, send it all through, we'll pay all the debts off, and then whatever you got left back, we can transfer that back to you." And a couple of days later, he sent me an email and a phone call to say, "Josh, you're all debt free. You and Corrine, you've done it, you've paid it all off." That all happened just before Christmas, and that was an amazing Christmas for us. Instead of constantly having the debt to talk about, we had exciting plans to talk about. We had hope to talk about. We had future that we could start to really look forward to. If you can give anything, even if it's something small, you're releasing them from that burden of feeling that they can't provide for their family. That's what you're helping. Without your support, CAP can't keep doing what they're doing, and that would be a real shame, because without them, my family wouldn't have the life that we have today.
What impacted me the most when I first watched Josh and Corrine's story those few years ago now was the image of Corrine and the girls in the grocery store trying to decide between nappies and milk, both essential items for a young family, and the embarrassment that they felt. But I also felt that great joy of that first Christmas without debt. It was my absolute pleasure to speak with Josh a few weeks ago to find out how they were doing. The first thing he told me was that they have a new addition to their family. Wait for it, another little girl, Florence, who is now 2 years old. The two older girls, Eloise and Lorelei, are both at school now and doing really well. Josh and Corrine have had some struggles over the last few years, particularly in relation to Corrine's health. When Florence was 5 months old, Corrine ended up in a critical condition in hospital with a staph infection that became septic. As you could well imagine, Josh was put into a position of having to make some serious decisions in relation to Corrine's diagnosis. There was a point where amputation of Corrine's limbs may have had to occur in order to save her life. They have a friend who is a doctor, and he came to the hospital to review Corrine's charts and was able to pray for her specific needs. That evening, Corrine started to improve. A beautiful miracle for this beautiful family. Josh now has his own building business. Shout out to New Construct in Brisbane. They do major renovations to properties around the Brisbane area and are currently booked out 6 to 8 months in advance. Josh employs a number of people as part of this successful business and is enjoying the challenges that come with owning your own business and juggling this with his commitment to his young family. CAP has allowed Josh and Corrine to better prepare for what life will throw at them. They have good, solid financial strategies in place. Hey, they're now running their own successful business. Through their CAP experience, they learnt how to really rely on God, but also ask for help. They journeyed with God to go debt-free. He placed CAP and Catalyst Church in Brisbane on their path to journey this closely with them. When Corrine was in hospital, they relied on God for her return to good health. They are raising 3 beautiful young girls in a loving Christian community. Josh said that they have learnt a lot of tough lessons, but God has been and continues to be good to them.
Wow. Thank you, Josh and Corrine, for sharing your story. As a mom of 3 young girls, nearly the same age, I can connect with your story powerfully. Before COVID-19 hit, 1 in 8 Australians were living in poverty, including 1 in 6 children under the age of 15. Since COVID-19 started, we have seen the largest economic decline since the Great Depression, and hundreds of thousands of people have lost their jobs, and hundreds of thousands more have had their work hours slashed. Unemployment is set to hit 9.5%, and underemployment has risen from 8.8% to a staggering 13.7%. These statistics represent real families like Josh and Corrine. Josh and Corrine are now running a business and building a sustainable, hope-filled future for their beautiful young girls. We live in a world with broken systems and broken relationships. And as we've seen through COVID-19, many of us are not in control of our financial security, something most of us find deeply troubling. One day, all will have enough. There will be no tears or sadness. But in the meantime, we each have a role to play to see God's kingdom established here and now, to do what we can do, to see all people restored to right relationship with God and each other, to share our possessions, to share our homes, to share our wisdom, to share our lives with each other in such a way that we would see the 1 in 8 Australians that are currently living in poverty released. You can give the gift of hope and long-term support to these people. CAP needs to grow. It needs to innovate, to find new ways to reach more people. CAP needs the resources to build the church up, to inspire, to equip, to provide practical tools to help families just like Josh and Corrine. To make a donation, you can call the team behind me. The phones are ringing. They are really busy. So if you can't get through, please keep trying. Or you can donate via the website. And don't forget about that match fund. We've got $70,000 to match your gift. Your gift will be doubled. Give a gift of $300 and CAP will receive $600. So get in quick before the match fund is fully utilised. And if you're not able to give straight away, then maybe you could pledge a gift over the next 12 months. You can call the team and let them know the details so that it can be recorded against this evening. So this is going to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you. We are about to find out how much we have raised so far. So let's get those drum rolls going once again. Okay, oh my goodness, we are currently sitting at just over $70,000. Okay, this is crazy but amazing and I love it. So thank you so much to those of you that have contributed to that. And if you've not already given, what are you waiting for? We're now going to spend some time hearing about CAP money. CAP money is an integral part of the CAP vision. CAP has trained over 2,000 Christians to help bring financial well-being to over 20,000 Australians. I'd like to introduce you to Stu. Stu is the leader of CAP money and has been working for CAP since February 2019.
Over the last decade, CAP money has done so much good in the community. The principles on which the course is built are timeless and effective ways to improve people's financial capability. And in response to feedback from our dedicated money coaches, the end of 2019 marked a new season of investment into the CAP money product to ensure it continued to meet the needs of the community into the future. In fact, CAP money has now become key to our strategic vision going forward. And 4 key areas for development were identified at the beginning of 2020. First, CAP money needed to be better integrated within the Australian financial services and education sectors. 2, CAP money needed to be built on a distinctly biblical understanding of what money is and how to manage it wisely. 3, CAP money needed to be more accessible both for churches and the wider community to be able to engage with. And finally, CAP money needed to emphasise that the main value proposition was in our amazing coaches rather than in course content, because really relationship is key. Now, through the rest of 2020, the team has been busy. We've seen Money Coach training move online. We've developed a strengths-based approach to the Get Out of Debt plan, which is a resource that can be given to delegates. We've written an updated course curriculum and are working towards training money coaches as financial capability workers, an emerging role within the financial education sector. And we've developed a biblical theology of money that inspires a different approach to managing our finances than the prevailing culture would teach us. All this is laying the foundation to establish CAP as an authority on the topic of financial well-being, both in the church and in the wider community. CAP money can be so much more than a financial literacy course. CAP money can be a ministry that trains coaches to help people from all walks of life answer that crucial question: how can I manage my money well? In order to help people build financial well-being and experience true flourishing. CAP money can be a ministry that recognises the true and timeless wisdom of the Bible in shaping and informing the way we manage money. The wisdom is such a gift from God. It's His common grace and useful to the Christian and non-Christian alike. Now, CAP money can be a ministry that equips the local church to be present and integrated into their local community in a way that serves and includes all people. Now, the need has always been great. Financial stress is a growing problem here in Australia and has devastating impacts on individuals, families, and communities. And it is getting worse. Now, I'm sure you've had friends or family who have experienced financial stress at some point in their lives. And CAP is ready to help the church address this pressing community need. And your generosity can ensure CAP money is so much more than just a financial literacy course, but rather a biblical, relational approach to financial well-being. Thank you so much for your support.
It is that time that we want to check in with some of you at home. We have been receiving some photos through our Facebook celebrating. So let's take a look at some of these now together. So we've got New South Wales. That looks very impressive, Josh. Looks like a nice meal there. Wow, and we've got this beautiful couple here as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. What else have we got? Oh, look, that is Ross and Ali Buttonshaw there. Hello, Ross and Ali. And there's Sally McKinnon in the background there as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and I know these people here as well. These are some beautiful people there watching. Thank you so much for watching as well. I recognise all those faces. Okay, we're going to take a look at what's going on in our phone team now. Stuart's over there.
Phones dutifully waiting to take your call. Now, Alicia, you've been with CAP almost 3 months now. Tell me, what's been the best part about working for CAP?
Yeah, first it's been great to have conversations with everyone tonight. Keep those phone calls coming. We have this great phone team ready to take your calls. But I just wanted to say, so far working for CAP, 3 months, it's been a blessing so far. I just love how we get to start every morning praying. We can pray for clients, pray for supporter prayer requests, and just really focus on God throughout the day. And that's just one of the best parts of working at CAP so far.
It really is a ministry saturated in prayer. Thank you so much, Alicia. I'll let you get back to the phones to take your calls. And we are going to... We're going to just keep... look at behind us. We've got $89,000 raised. This is actually incredible. Did you expect this kind of response tonight? This is your first fundraising dinner. What's the vibe been like around here?
Oh, it's been great. First fundraising dinner and everyone's first virtual fundraising dinner, and we really didn't know what to expect. To begin with, we thought either there's going to be no calls or a lot of calls, and now there's everyone on call, so it's just been great.
It really has been something new for all of us. Thank you so much for tuning in, bearing with us in some of the hiccups, but we're really enjoying the process. I'll let you get back to those phones now, Alicia. Thank you so much for your support and your time with us tonight.
Thank you, Stu. What an amazing evening. Thank you for being part of it. And it falls to me to share the final story of this evening. CAP shared Robin and James's story for the first time in 2014. Robin is a single mum. James, her son, would be a good representation of the 1 in 6 children living in poverty here in Australia. 31% of the people CAP helps are single parents. 50% of children living in single parent families are living in poverty. The reasons for this are complex. As a mum of 3 young girls, I admire the strength and resilience of any single parent. There is a huge injustice that exists for these children. They have a 50-50 chance of living in poverty. The odds are stacked against them. Let's watch Robin and James's story.
Hi, my name is James. Me and my mum are CAP clients.
I had a big financial debt that I just found that the bills were becoming too much and I couldn't budget anymore and I couldn't handle any, and forced us to move really quickly without much notice. So we spent a lot of time on the trains, then we spent a lot of time sleeping in the car.
When we were homeless, when we slept in the car, slept on the trains, and I had to get up at 4 a.m. just to go to school. Never a healthy breakfast. Very, very, very scary. It's no good when the bill's high level and Mum hasn't got much money. I'm worried, stressed as well. I was worried about my mum mostly.
Just the stress of it all. Basically it just consumed every waking thought. Broke down bit by bit and I ended up in a medically induced coma for a month due to the stress of everything. Since working with CAP, our life has changed a lot. My health is obviously a lot better without that stress of knowing that the bills are going to be paid, and I feel like I've changed my outlook on things. I've looked at things differently, and
without CAP, it wouldn't be great at all.
So as a CAP Centre manager, we just kept on loving this family, and I never gave up. I never stopped believing. Then we just were able to help them in practical ways, like provide things that they needed. Then it was after this, a really big thing that happened, we were able to give away a car.
After we got the car, I said to my mum that we should pray. When we prayed, I heard God say to me, "I think you should go to church." And I said to him, "Okay, I'll go once with my mum." God said, "Great." So on Sunday, we went to church and we got saved. Then we started going every Sunday. Soon after, we said to one of the pastors that we want to get baptised. The pastor's name was Tom. When we got baptised, I heard God say to me, "I'm proud of you for getting to know me." He's changed my heart better, swapped it around better. He's fixed it.
I feel hopeful and excited knowing that we have him. So loved the world.
Wow, what a powerful story. And I have the absolute privilege of welcoming Robin and James, who are live with us here tonight. I'd love to ask you both one question each. James, I'd love to ask you, what has life been like more recently? You were 11 on that video, you're now 17. What's life been like for you more recently?
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, life has been great since then, and I've definitely felt God's favour resting on me more and more every day. And I've definitely felt his favour on me recently as I finished high school and got my HSC, and I feel his favour is bright for the future, as can't wait to do my internship at church.
Fantastic. That is really, really encouraging. Robin, I'd love for you to tell everyone at home what has been the impact of CAP.
Wow, so much has changed since looking at that video. How much God has blessed us, and how good he is, and his faithfulness and his kindness, and how loving he is even through such tough times and health issues. He's always been there for us. CAP has been a huge part of our journey. The tools CAP has given me to budget and to save and to manage our money without the stress that was so big in my life. So we are very grateful to be able to CAP, to be able to share our story to others, to encourage them that through hard times and struggles, that they
can also get through.
Yes.
Right? That's fantastic. And Robin has prepared a prayer for us to read together, for her to lead us in a prayer. I'd love for you to do that now, Robin.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for CAP. I thank you for all the people who are working to help others to get through some very hard times. I thank you that you don't wish anybody to struggle or to be in poverty. Thank you for your kindness and your goodness and your faithfulness. I pray that you continue to bless CAP everywhere and their work. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. What a powerful story. Thank you so much. I know that it's been nerve-wracking, and so thank you so much for being with us this evening. Over the past 20 years, God has established many things through CAP. On this, CAP's anniversary dinner, there is much to celebrate. Many lives have been touched, and we've talked about some of these already tonight. Over 2,000 Christians given new skills. Over 20,000 Australians helped. Over $120 million of debt cleared. Over 1,500 people now following Jesus. CAP currently partners with 220 churches all across Australia with over 600 active volunteers. But all this costs money. CAP needs to raise $200,000 tonight. CAP has a huge vision, a vision that sees thousands of churches in partnership with CAP, providing vital financial tools, friendship and support. And you are invited to play your part. Everyone's invited. One day, the Church of Australia will be known as a place of refuge and belonging, a place people can find grace and friendship. CAP needs to raise $200,000 to ensure that these 220 church partnerships can continue, and so that CAP can step boldly forwards and partner with more churches to help thousands more Australians. Thank you to those of you that have already given tonight. But if you've not already given, now is the time. You can't delay any longer. Maybe you've already given and you need to give again. Let stories like Josh and Corrine, Nicole, Robin and James all speak for themselves. Allow your heart of generosity and compassion for people waking up today trapped in poverty. Allow your belief in the power of the church and the hope that you have in the good news of Jesus be your motivation to give. Please stretch with me. I need you to be generous. The team are ready to take your call. The number is on your screen. We can't wait to hear from you. You can also give on the website via the Donate Now button. So, while the final calls are all being made and we are desperately trying to count all the donations that are coming in, we are going to listen to a song that has been written and performed by another of CAP's staff. After this, I'll be back to give you the total. I'm going to hand over now to an amazing regional leader. Over to Bart.
Lost in the familiar, my life not as it seemed. Desires of my heart stealing all my joy. Alone in the dark I was searching, hoping to find a clearer path, until I found the light of the world. Now I'm home again. When I was lost, you brought me home again to my Father's house. You saved a wretch like me, and now I'm set free. I'm home again. And now you're in my life. Your purpose is my cause, my heart a new creation with overflowing joy. Into the darkness of my heart, you show your great light, revealing the truth I was searching for. So I let you in. When I was lost, you brought me home again to my Father's house. You saved a wretch like me, and now I'm set free. I'm home again, home again. Now each day is not the same, forever unchanged on this adventure with you. And this road, it is winding with hills and valleys. Your spirit guides me through, leading me into all the plans you have for me, to tell my world about you, until the day that I long for to be with you. When I'm home again, when I was lost, you brought me home again to my Father's house. You saved a wretch like me, and now I'm set free. I'm home again. When I was lost, you brought me home again to my Father's house. You saved a wretch like me, and now I'm set free. I'm home again, home again, home again.
Wow, well, I am still waiting for the piece of paper that's going to tell me how much we have raised. And I don't know as well as you don't know. So, just to let you know, we're going to be going again in WA. So anything that we've not raised tonight, we will be raising later. Now, I think I've got a piece of paper on the floor, which I'm now going to get because they threw it and it fell on the floor. So bear with me. Here we go. See, we're live. We told you that. Okay, so drum roll, please. Everyone in the office, everyone at home, do a big drum roll. Okay, you ready for this? So the amount with the match fund tonight that you have raised is just over $145,000. That's so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tonight was a total leap of faith. Thank you for partnering with CAP to see hope restored. I've got another piece of paper here that's saying that we're actually up to $149,000. So much to celebrate. As I said before, we are going live again with WA in just a couple of hours. So please be praying for us that we reach the target that we need by the end of this year to do everything that God has called Christians Against Poverty Australia to do. For those of you that are partying with friends, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us.